Hey.
Hi, Walt.
How are you?
Good. Nice to see
Come
you.
on in.
Hi, it's Kembra, Walt, and it's August 2025, and I just wanted to thank you for letting me come over and visit you in your studio.
Huh?
Wow.
But yeah, the paintings are kind of, it's weird. I have a lot more hung than I normally would, just because I got this batch of paintings from the 90s.
Okay.
And I think the point where I'm at in my life now, I do so many different types of media. And I think from the outside it might seem like they're not connected. I know they're connected in my head, but recently I've been thinking a lot about the whole scope of what I've done, and so I kind of put everything up to see how the flowers connect, with the earlier paintings. And when you see the line work and you see the tone of them, I think it's easy to make the connection between
I
the two.
totally feel the connection with your use of color, especially, I feel like there's a Walt Cassidy palette.
Right. Well, my friend Diane Brill, actually, she came to visit me when I was doing a mural at this restaurant. She was like, "Your flowers are really muscular."
Wow.
And ever since she said that, it sort of stuck with me. And, I never really thought about the language around the type of line and the composition. I just knew that I wanted the flowers. Usually when you see flower motifs, they're all frilly and sort of bitsy, and I wanted sort of big, meaty, almost masculine flowers. Okay. And I sort of liked the challenge of trying to do flower murals that could exist in a quote-unquote masculine space.
Yeah, it's very contradictory. Usually it's such a female landscape or a female realm of interest.
Yeah.
And that
and
seems
very decoratory too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wanted,
totally.
I remember I saw this interview with Robert Mapplethorpe, and he was talking about his flowers, and he was like, "I think my flowers are New York flowers." And that's another thing that stuck with me. And so I kind of, when I started doing the flowers, which was really me going full circle to my childhood. I used to be obsessed with flowers. I even have a painting in the other room, my very first flower painting as a 6-year-old.
What? Oh,
And,
my goodness.
like as a kid, I never had toys or dolls, or I would ask my parents for flowers and plants.
Wow.
So as gifts on like birthdays and Christmas. So I don't know, I guess as you get older, you do these circles in life, and I sort of came back to that with the flower murals.
This one in particular, I can really see a kind of muscular feeling to that. It almost looks as if this is a hand reaching out and an orifice as well.
Yeah.
And they're like survivalist flowers. These flowers look like they could survive in any kind of atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, I think that kind of reflects my experience as a person and as an artist.
Is it rude to ask, or is it rude for us to share where, did you spend time in Hawaii as well?
No, my brother and sister are Filipino-Hawaiian.
Okay,
my dad used to live in Hawaii, but that was before I was born. But I was born in Southern California. And then my dad was a little bit crazy. He sort of believed in the end of the world. He thought California was going to break off and sink into the ocean, and he had all this kind of veteran mindset. We basically moved across the country from west to east, and in there we landed on a ranch that my father had. He was so nuts. He found this 200-acre ranch that was within at least a minimum 50-mile strike zone if there was to be like a nuclear war or something. He believed.
Goodness.
He really had that sort of survivalist mindset. He thought the world was coming to the end. He didn't trust human beings. He was amazing too, but that was sort of his, I guess, leftover from the wars.
Wow.
And also he studied psychology, so he had a deep mistrust of the human animal. And I was kind of raised with this, like, keep them at arm's length. But I think that also sort of taught me as a kid that I could build my own world. Because on the ranch, my father was really tall too, and he used to be frustrated and say that the world was built for short people. So he made all his own furniture for like a tall person.
Okay.
And I think somewhere in my mind, watching that, I realized, oh, I can build my own world.
Well,
and that became the basis of all of my work, essentially, which is why it's interdisciplinary. It's really world building. It's not so much working in a specific medium.
Is it all right if we take a peek at this black and white photo?
Oh yeah, that's from 1992, and that was actually a gallery show in Soho where the club kids, which is where the scene that I landed in when I first got to New York, and we were all put on display as art objects at the Willow Gallery. And that's a photograph taken by these photographers, Skid, who spent a whole year documenting the club kids. And a large part of their work is in the book that I did.
Okay. And Walt, you've accomplished so much artwork during your art history and your art life, and I don't want to jump to too many places, but now that we're seeing this book here, do you want to speak about the book a little bit?
Yeah.
The books are incredible.
Well, this was the first book that I did, the New York Club Kids, which did really well. It came out right before the pandemic and the lockdown.
Right.
So I think it was a real hit, but unfortunately it sold out during that time period. And it's funny, I don't know if I would change this. I've never really had the support of institutions or galleries and agents. And one thing that I learned in the Club Kid experience is, when you're not invited to do something, do it yourself. And I think that also comes out of my punk background, this sort of like, well, okay, no one's really supporting me in the world, but I still feel like I have my place and my voice, and so I'm going to do it myself. And I still maintain that. I know a lot of people. I have one friend who's an artist, and she was like, oh, I can't have a website because it doesn't look cool. And I was like, well, okay, you have tons of galleries and stuff like that, so maybe you don't need to have a website, but I need a shop, to sell from, and so I have to do that, and the pop-ups and things like that have been really great. It's
I'm really glad you're doing all of that, and for the next generations that are coming up, people that are just starting out as artists, talk about not being invited.
Yeah.
I mean, there is utterly nothing for most young people to look forward to at all these days. And for them to be able to see an artist like you, who's been in such a state of beautiful production for such a long time, it's wonderful that that you're making your work available, and hopefully my dream is to be able to come and see your talks in other parts of the world, like other states and other countries.
Yeah.
So I really look forward to also seeing all of this work in a place that you're happy exhibiting it.
Yeah.
It's just such an incredible body of work.
Thank you.
I wonder, do you think maybe we should end the interview? Is there anything else you can think of? Samoa's been so kind to wonderfully film for us, and I just can't thank you enough for letting us come over today.
Oh yeah, my pleasure.
It's been so wonderful. Is there anything else maybe?